Morning fellas, Ben back again on another one. The most requested video of them all. How is it that you get to use the easy clutch so well when all of us have all sorts of issues with it? That is, all these comments that I receive about how this easy clutch is spoiling your clutch plates and the rest of it that follows. I really don't understand why there is so much of confusion on how to install such a simple device. Yes, with each model, the length of the clutch cable, the length of the inner wire of the clutch cable, everything seems to be different. But then again, all of this may not be within your comprehension, but will be very much within roadside mechanics comprehension. He would easily be able to figure this out. And I don't know why everyone still runs into trouble after installing this. You say your clutch isn't grabbing well, you say your clutch is slipping, and you say there's just absolutely no understanding of the friction zone, and so on and so forth. Whereas, if you were to look at my motorcycle, this thing has been here for a really long time now. Have not run into any sort of an issue, and there you go. Still the same one finger clutch pull. As comfortable, as easy as that. So today I thought I will run you through the whole of it again. So I'm installing an easy clutch on my friend Arun's bike, and the bike is almost getting done, like to the point where, you know, I will be giving it back to him, and he'll be a happy owner. And so it's almost getting done. There's just a few bits and pieces left, and today is the installation of the easy clutch, and I just did the whole of it just to see if everything is well and all is well. So now we are dismantling the whole of it again just for the sake of this video, and I'm going to be running you through the steps. Yes, I did order the long system, and the long system just doesn't seem to be the right system for the Himalayan. Though it said it is Himalayan specific cable system, it is just a little too long for the Himalayan, and these are the components of the long system. And added to that, what you have is this fella here. Yep, there you go. The casing in which the actuating lever, the fulcrum, works. So those are the components of the long system, and the problem with that is what we have here is a longer cable than what is the desired length. So it's a little too long, and of course this length can be adjusted with adjusters here. There are adjusters here on both the ends, and then there are multiple adjusters all over the cable. But I personally would not recommend this now, is because there are too many adjusters, and too many adjusters will definitely spoil things in the long run. One. Number two, it's still a little too long. So there's a huge bit of cable sticking out, and it's just not working in my favor. So what I thought is I will ask Arun to order this part alone, the short cable part, which comes as the short system. The short system is like this. If you watch, there are two systems available with PRO SPEC. One is the long version, the other is the short version. The short version is this casing and the actuating lever and one side of this. There you go, just this much. So all you need to do is order the short cable, and there you go. So this is what you will get with the short cable. You will get this and this. And once you get this, you can use your stock Himalayan cable to do the rest of the job. So the stock Himalayan cable and the short cable will definitely do it for you. I've done it on at least 3 or 4 bikes now, and all of them seem to be working well. So it's just a matter of getting the short version and using your stock Himalayan cable to do the rest of it for you. Okay, so the first thing to do is to reroute the clutch cable, not from here but from here. So the clutch cable, as you guys can see, I have pulled it out of here from the clutch lever, and it's been rerouted from this end instead of this end. So how does that happen? This is the routing that you guys need to follow. Goes from here. There is a bracket that holds the clutch cable. In fact, there are two, more like guide brackets, and then there's the zip tie over here. A zip tie over here runs from here, gets into the bracket at the subframe that holds the front of it. So there's another bracket here that you guys can see, and comes out of here. So instead of coming from the other side, it comes out of here. So that's the clutch cable. and the routing of the clutch cable that you guys need to follow. On one side you have the short cable, and on the other side you have an adjuster. So this is how you will get it from the PRO SPEC guys. So you'll get this with you, and what you need to do is so yeah, there's a cap to it which you can open by undoing these 3 screws on the top and get rid of the cap. This is what is the rest of it. So that's how you will find it. Pull the actuator arm off, and then connect the clutch cable onto the actuator arm like this and turn it around like that. One more time. One more time. So the clutch cable doesn't go like this or like this. It goes, keep the actuator arm in the opposite direction, that is the ball bearing side towards the bottom. Shove this in, rotate it, and bring it like that. So now this is in place, it's not going anywhere. Simple. If you can figure this out on your own, nothing like it. Now, there's this adjuster on one side which you guys need to screw in fully, like as deep into the casing as you can. Fully push this in fully, run the wire through and let things be. Run the wire through and let things be. Now undo this side, pull this actuator on the top, or let's keep this aside for a moment. What you do is you pull this side out by just undoing it, and then shove this in and then rotate it. So what you're aiming at is that the 2 cables are attached to the fulcrum mechanism or the actuator arm in opposite directions. So if you can achieve this movement with the actuator arm, you know that you've done a good job. Move this in and let it be. This is where things get tricky. You should not shove this into the pivot now. You need to do something else before that. Okay, so now that you have the top part of it clear, what you need to do is just pull this part out. This is the problem that most of you guys are faced with. You only have so much of inner wire to attach to the clutch pivot or the clutch actuator arm here on the crankcase. So what do you do about it? Okay, so that's all that you got. Nothing to worry. You need some strength or some brute force to handle the rest of it, but I'll run you through the steps. Yes, of course you need a dust cover, a dust boot. So this is going on now. This is going to be a lot of work. Let me shove this in and then get back to you. What you do is you shove this in and then see to it that you have one bolt, adjusting bolt on one side, and another that goes in from the front. You need these nuts to adjust the free play. So once this is in order, now what you need to do is run the boot. So back again, now that the boot is on, remember one thing very clearly. This part requires you to have some strength. That is, you need to grab onto this end of the cable and stretch it enough to shove this in to the clutch actuator arm. What you can do on the top is, here is you can kind of relax things for him a bit. So what you can do here now is, watch very carefully. I pull this fellow out, watch very carefully. I pull this out and I release tension for him by just aligning the cables. Now do it. Done? So he's pulled it from the other end. Now my job is to get this fellow to come back and sit in the casing. There you go. So that's all that you need to do. You need to release this. You need to lift this fellow up and release it so that he has enough inner cable to attach it to the perch, and then pull this back, put it inside the casing. There you go. Now to align the bearing to the pivot. There you go. So now that he's done this side of it, pretty easy. We've got this side of it sorted out. All you need to do is just figure this part out. This is where you need the help of a mechanic. Mechanics would know what to do. Where there is force required, they will use force and they will not mind doing this. But when you guys work on your motorcycles, you'll be a little too sensitive to such things. Mechanics will not care because they understand that the tension, the power of these cables. These cables will not snap no matter what you do, unless and until you damage them. So there's no chance of damaging them with things like these. All I'm trying to do is just pull this fellow. Pull, align, and there you go. Done. Done and dusted. That's all there is to the easy clutch installation. If you guys can get this much out, then once I shove this here, you will know the rest of it. So now once you figured this out, which a mechanic will be able to figure out in a jiffy, he will just be able to do this without breaking a sweat. That's how easy it is. So now I'm left with so much of the inner cable on one side. Here I have two choices. I can go get myself something like this from the local market. This is an adjuster that you guys get to see in all the old motorcycles with adjustable clutch at the perch. So you'll find a lot of old motorcycles like the Yamahas, the old Hondas, morning, and all these machines will have an adjuster here at the clutch perch. For that matter, your new Continental GT, Interceptor, they all have this fella. So go grab yourself one of this and then shove it in like that. So once you have the adjuster going like that, now again you need a bit of you need a bit of muscle power to do the rest of it for you. So if you've not done any of this, at least show it to a video to a mechanic. Show this video to a mechanic and he'll be able to do it for you. Okay, so clutch cable in. Now watch very carefully what I do. So there's this adjuster, there's a bit of it extra here, and the cable is not able to slide in. All that I need to do is just again use muscle power. And that's it, done. Easy clutch with the 3mm free play. Done and dusted. Clutch in, wheel not moving, letting go of clutch, and towards the fag end I've kind of increased the friction zone so the wheel starts moving, and that is how the easy clutch works. This is bound to happen with sticking clutch plates, don't worry about that. Again, clutch in, wheel not moving, I start releasing the clutch, and there you go. I've increased the friction zone. Wheel starts rotating. So that's how easy it is. A simple, straightforward installation this is bound to happen. The fulcrum, the actuating lever will hit one end. It's because that's how it is going to be. It's because you don't have enough inner wire. That's how it's going to be. A done and dusted deal as far as getting the easy clutch to work. So this is a combination. This free play adjust here. This is a combination of knowing what to do and having enough experience on how to go about fixing the niggles. So there are a lot of niggles with this system. That is, it's not as easy as it gets only because of this particular clutch cable from the Royal Enfield Himalayan. And this particular clutch cable has very little inner wire length, and that is all that causes misery in this installation. Otherwise, it's a straightforward job, straightforward fit, absolutely no confusions. It's a clean swap. So get yourself a cable which has longer inner wire, or do it with the stock Himalayan cable itself. But any which ways, you can make this sit on the bike and there's going to be absolutely no problems. Yep, so took away this fellow from this end and shoved this in fully. Now it's so much better. That is the angular free play, or whatever it is that you want to call it. The shakiness of this particular adjuster has reduced considerably, and all I need to do is just adjust my free play now. So if you guys can see, from close position to open position, I have about roughly 4 mm free play, and if that continues when I lock my handlebar onto the right end, then that simply means that I have some adjusting to do. So pull this fellow out. As you can see, there are about 4 or 5 threads sticking out. If the more you pull this adjuster out, the more you can adjust your free play. So now that you guys can see, I'm at about 2 mm free play, and that's all you need to engage your clutch. Fully closed position, fully open position, and I just have about 2 mm free play, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so that will be it. If you understood the installation of it, then that's all there is to it. Hopefully this was of some help to some of you guys who have ordered the system already and it's lying around in a shelf, or for the fellows who really want to go ahead and buy this. Do get this for yourselves and you'll have a nice time riding off-road. So that's about it for this one. The next one is soon to follow. Until then, this is Ben signing out for now. Ciao.